Hello everyone guys, as I'm learning to use a new building material, I'll be honest, I'm shocked myself. What kind of technological, beautiful, and cheap walls do you end up with which actually look expensive and prestigious? These walls allow you to use a lot of inexpensive and impressive finishing options. I'm actively improving the technology. And now, a square meter of such a wall, fully finished both inside and out, should cost only $5, which is even less than 400 Russian rubles. Yes, you heard that right. That's the price for a square meter of a fully finished wall, done both inside and out. Move in and live. After I built the first experimental wall and was very satisfied with it, I immediately bought materials for all the remaining ones. And as we can see, their number is quite funny. It's the same extruded polystyrene foam, 3 cm thick, and the adhesive that's used to attach it to the base and to create reinforced coatings on it when insulating facades. I bought the adhesive on sale with a good discount because it's for winter, but now it's summer, but it actually worked even better than the regular one. The boards are already milled, so they're rough. If I hadn't found these and bought smooth ones, I would have had to roughen them myself. I haven't seen larger boards for sale here. They're easy to transport in your own vehicle, but you have to glue them together. You only need a small amount of polyurethane foam glue, and the joint becomes much stronger than the polystyrene. Because it's hot, I use a spray bottle to keep the adhesive mixture moist. The three of us flip it together so the thin, still weak layer doesn't crack. We sweep so dried glue remnants don't get under the fresh panel and damage it. In the previous video, finishing cost $5 per square meter, but here it's much higher. Thus, all the walls of the first floor of my super budget building with finishing should cost no more than 15,000 Russian rubles, which is equivalent to 200 United States dollars. And you're watching one of the episodes where I show and talk about how to build a 2-story compact house with an area of 50 square meters for which I plan to spend no more than 1,000 United States dollars on materials, which is currently only 75,000 Russian rubles. To waterproof, I glue strips from leftover soft roofing shingles to the foundation. I add 2 vertical supports to the short wall frames and fasten them securely, not cutting corners. Most of the wind load from the wall elements will be transferred to them. My main frame is made of pseudo timber. Recently, people laughed at me saying that making it is labor intensive. It's easier to buy regular solid timber. Well, go ahead and buy it, now that everything has tripled in price. But my timber is made from far from top grade 1-inch or 25mm boards. It's hollow inside, and the savings are significant. After I built the first trial wall and was very satisfied with it, I still made some improvements. It turned out to be more convenient to glue the sheets together as a single piece with a width equal to the height of the openings that need to be filled with walls, and then cut them to the required width. I precisely fit on site again, allowing 5 1/4 inch gaps for additional foaming. I label each sheet with codes only I understand to avoid confusion later. A precise frame ensures part uniformity, but I don't need that level of precision here. I found a cheaper and at the same time stronger reinforcing mesh. This is one of the types of plaster mesh which are widely available in all hardware stores. In the mixture section, as I already mentioned, I started using a winter adhesive mix which reduced consumption by almost half. Now for both sides of a wall panel with an area of almost 4 square meters, I only need one 25-kilogram bag. Thanks to your previous videos, we managed to shake up YouTube's algorithms, which often slow down the spread of especially valuable information for society. That video got 1 million views, but I know that this information can be useful to a much larger number of people. To fully break through this wall, as they say, we need to take a final shot. That's why I saved the most valuable info for this video, and as before, ask you to share it everywhere on social media. Thank you. After that, finished walls appear quickly. There's only 5 minutes to catch your breath while the next batch of glue sets. The panels have become smaller and lighter, and the winter glue sets faster and stronger. That's why I'm outlining them by myself now. I've learned to plaster pretty evenly in just one layer, all thanks to the gravitational support of our planet. As soon as you place the surface to be plastered horizontally, even someone picking up plastering tools for the first time can achieve a pretty decent smoothness. It's definitely good enough for my needs. As I mentioned earlier, here you can observe not just the process of plastering polystyrene foam, but the birth of a real composite material which has all its attributes: an inner filler layer and outer reinforcing layers, a real sandwich. The gravity method of plastering is good, but as we can see, it does have a small drawback. However, this issue is easy to fix. The walls are moving closer to my construction site. The first wall has stood for nearly a month without moving, while the others are stacked tightly, likely an unmatched material saving. To attach the walls to the frame, I'll use these wooden blocks cut from a beam. I pre-fasten them with screws. Don't underestimate polyurethane foam adhesive. I've seen doors last nearly 25 years with just mounting foam. On the first wall, one panel is held only by foam and the other two are as well. Thanks to the screwed-on wooden blocks, they can't fall inside the house, but they could fall outward if the adhesive fails. Let's check it out. Despite warnings from the overly cautious, I use these fasteners. Drilling a pilot hole first helps prevent the block from cracking. Alone, I handle walls of about 26 square meters without much effort. Mega companies that produce building materials and invent expensive technologies just to fill their pockets with our money have really outdone themselves. To the point that if you use some of these materials correctly and in your own way, it turns out you can actually build for next to nothing. Necessity is the mother of invention. Extruded polystyrene at just 3 Satan thick has the same thermal conductivity as a wooden beam wall about 20 centimeter thick or a brick wall more than half a meter thick. Before installing the next element, we place roofing felt pads so we can later fill the gap with adhesive foam. Because my structure is light, we can use a lightweight foundation. Tell me, aren't we just like American builders? Technology though. If I lived, for example, in Siberia and used polystyrene foam 5 or 7 centimeters thick, and at the North Pole 10 then for our Belarus, which is in the temperate zone, this should be enough. I didn't make this up, it's in the specifications. These are the parameters from polystyrene foam manufacturers. These are large companies with their own labs, and I see no reason not to trust them. I was already thinking about naming these walls after myself, like Yasha Koshek's walls. But from the comments under the last video, I found out that this option isn't really that much of a novelty. Inventive Germans have been using such panels for quite a while already. After searching online, I found a Russian manufacturer of these products. I was a bit disappointed, but there is also an upside. All the skeptics, and judging by the comments, they make up about 25-30%, messed up at one point. But this material is mostly used for interior partitions and for insulating or leveling existing walls, both inside and out. Prices are astronomical for both Germans and Russians, but my production cost is minimal. Maybe I'll actually be the first to use it entirely for exterior walls. I guess I should quickly get a patent. Just kidding, what about the haters? Even a friend called me and said that I'm getting a lot of hate in the comments under the last video, and I told him let them hate. There's also a native of South Africa who settled in the United States and is making breakthroughs in the space industry and electric transport. Many people here can't stand him either. That's just our post-Soviet nature. We're suspicious of anything new and resent those who succeed. Especially when you can say it anonymously, completely hiding behind a nickname. But we're really good at empathizing when someone on the contrary fails at something. And that's worth a lot. When a house like that is blown away, people say, "Poor me, I worked so hard for nothing." Oh, but no, comrades haters, it won't get blown away. If I listened to everyone who said something would fail, these warm garden beds wouldn't exist, or there'd only be one. I made the first from leftover paving tiles, and the rest from leftover red and white bricks. Thanks to these garden beds, we had cucumbers in open ground by mid-June, despite the cold spring. My wife and I got a lot of hate for the garden beds. People said they wouldn't last a season without concrete and would fall apart. The first garden bed has made it to its 5th season, and the super cheap roof expected to fail after the first strong wind or hail has already lasted a year and will keep standing. The walls are up, but a flaw was found. A self-tapping screw hit the beam's edge, causing a crack, so the wall didn't settle correctly. It would be fine, but the crookedness reveals it. The footage of fixing the wall flaw confirms that easy house disassembly is still fully preserved. If necessary, the house can be disassembled and moved to a new location. Regarding environmental friendliness, I didn't get all the materials from a uranium mine or a chemical weapons testing site, but bought them at a regular hardware store where they are supplied with safety certificates. And I use these materials for their intended purpose. Why should the walls be stronger than the windows? Some commenters said these walls are so weak, drunk people could just kick the door in and walk inside. Floor-to-ceiling windows and glass storefronts are increasingly popular, but few consider entering through them, such as with a small stone. You don't even need your foot anymore. We're clearly becoming more civilized, and that's what I'm counting on too. And these walls are actually much stronger than they might seem. Take my word for it, and if you don't believe me, just try it yourself and see. Next, I primed the walls. I decided that with my budget, it would be wasteful to spend money on ready-made decorative plasters. And I used the hit of the last few construction seasons, which only the laziest finishing bloggers haven't made a tutorial about yet. The hardest part of this technique turned out to be cutting the masking tape to the width of the desired joints for the brickwork imitation. So it's all insanely simple. Now, the adhesive mixture I saved at the very beginning by applying a thinner layer. The final finishes, for which the mixture can be diluted quite well with much cheaper cement and sand. Many options exist for this finish, but I use the simplest since it's just a facade. I'll put more effort into the interior only if I think it's necessary. I'm already satisfied with the result. Why don't I track my time? Time is money, right? But in many places, especially here in the post-Soviet space, this resource is greatly undervalued. People often say, why build it yourself if it's cheaper to hire or buy? Focus on what you do best. Guys, let's stop showing off so much. For those who really benefit from buying or hiring, YouTube definitely won't show this video to them. Why would people who, for example, are into investments need this information? In stocks, turning 100 million into 150. We must admit we're all basically the same, just trying to save money. Many fear that with walls like these, my home isn't a fortress anymore. Suppose thieves hear there's a lot of money in the house, though it's rare for anyone to have money left after building one. Thieves rarely work alone, so our thief has an accomplice. When he arrives, he'll tell his partner the job's easy. They just need to break through the foam walls and grab the loot. The accomplice, seeing the real brickwork, will definitely decide that something's fishy here, and after an argument, the criminals will go their separate ways. There's a lot of finishing work to do here, and after it's done, I'll probably have something to share. Guys, while I was plastering, I felt every decimeter of these walls. They're excellent walls. The areas without decorative brickwork weren't left for Neapolitan landscapes, although those would fit in nicely here too. But for the windows, which we'll install in the next episode, and we'll put in the doors too, so give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, and also subscribe to my second channel, which is dedicated to broader life topics beyond construction and do-it-yourself projects. The link is below the video, along with links to other House for $1,000 episodes. Also, click the bell and then I'll definitely keep you informed. Thank you.